it's recording. This is Evan. We're here. Hopefully you've joined me so we can find out if these signs... Dang it, I keep doing jazz hands. I need some kind of like something that's like signs. Signs if you're a twin flame. Signs if you are a twin flame. Alright. This video, I think I've tried umpteen times to make this stinking video. You see that? Anyways, this is video number 8, or a las 8 de la noche. I don't know why I just wanted to say that. Just to prove to y'all that I actually remember some of the Spanish that I learned in school. Like, el papel, la pluma. Okay, so this is video 8 of the 9. Ooh, we're almost to the end. 8 out of the 9 signs to know if you are a twin flame. And I'm going to call this one, or I've titled this one, Seeing the Soul. And I'm going to use another story to tell y'all, to try to get you to understand what I'm talking about, what I mean by seeing the soul. But first I'm going to tell you the little definition I wrote down here, so I'm going to read off the paper so my eyeballs are not going to be gazing into yours for a moment. Please excuse me. You see them, not just the physical them. You see beyond that. Whatever you think are shortcomings or quirks or even perspectives or viewpoints that are or may be different. It's like the energy stick I've spoken of. The same stick, different energy. No, I'm sorry, the same stick, different or opposite perspectives, yet it's the same stick, hence the same soul in a different body. You see past those things. So if you've seen a video, I think it's called Message Time, I'll pull up this like blue comb and I talk about energy and how there's negative and positive polarities, but it's still yet the same energy because it's from the same source. That's what I'm talking about. Because you are the same energetic beings in 2 separate vessels. You can hold 2 separate perspectives, but still see each other as whole individuals and not judge each other for the 2 separate perspectives that you may be holding if they are opposite to one another. I hope that made some sense because I'm not going to even try to repeat what the fuck I just said. Anywho. Alright, so like I said, I'm going to tell a story. If I haven't said this just a minute. If I haven't said it, I'm going to say it again. Maybe I'm repeating myself. Could be. I'm going to use a story to try to emphasize the thing I'm trying to explain to y'all about the seeing the soul and seeing through to the soul. And I'm going to turn this light off behind me because it's casting that freaking weird glare and I don't like it. Any part in me, Zeus? I'm going to step on you, bro. Alright. Hopefully you can still see me. Can you still see me? Oh, where my little flame proudly. Okay. Seeing the soul. Story time. Boop. Here we go. Oh, here's a little, Here's a little thing I want to mention. I am about to talk about my body. The reason I'm mentioning that I'm about to talk about my body is because if you haven't heard already through the grapevine, heard it through the grapevine, I'm a trans dude, y'all, which means I was born a woman and now I'm a man. If you don't know what that is, please go look it up. I don't want to sit here and explain because that's not what this video is about. But I'm going to use that as an example for what I'm about to tell you about for seeing the soul thing. Okay? So if you are trans yourself and it bothers you to hear about people's bodies and stuff, click off and watch another something else. If you don't want to hear about the rest of the thing because you think I'm going to talk about whatever the fuck I think I'm going to talk about, then click off the video. If you're interested in hearing what I'm trying to mean by seeing the soul, then keep watching the video. Here's the story. Roll it. So, I think it was like probably second or third time. No. I don't know. We've done it like, I don't know. We had sex like, I don't know, 2 or 3 times at this point. At least 2 or 3 times at this point. Now, let me just say this before I tell the story. I'm sorry, I'm going to say this before I tell the story. Preference. I don't know about the rest of you folks, what you do after you've had sex with somebody you're attracted to for the first time or second time or third time. But I always take that moment to check their body out, because why not? They're freaking naked. You're like, oh, I'm really attracted to this person. You actually did the coitus need thing, and they're laying there, and you're laying there, and all your glory going, oh, that's amazing. Whatever it is you're doing, and you're looking at their body, and so, um, yeah, and so yeah, so the other thing is, I was kind of doing that with her. And then the other thing that I do that I caught her doing, which I think is interesting, is when I'm with somebody that I've been intimate with first, and they're like, we haven't been around each other that long, or we haven't been around each other that much, or it's a fresh relationship or whatever. I usually will find myself sitting somewhere in the room with them and just observing them, not to be a creep or anything, but just to observe their movements and get to know them and how they move, and kind of be in awe, because I'm like, oh my god, this woman that I'm really attracted to in all different ways and levels had sex with me. And yeah, so kind of immature, but this is kind of how it is for me. And then I'm just like, and I'm in awe. So I'm like, I'm observing them and watching them because I'm really into them. Um, so I caught her doing that with me, and it kind of took me off guard. And the reason I say that is because, like I said before, you're a mirror, and when you're dating, kind of dating yourself, but not dating yourself because it's another person, it's your energy in another vessel. So it's like dating yourself, but it's not you, but it is you. Um, it's very interesting to have things that you do that you know you're aware that you do, little quirks or little mannerisms that you have. It's very interesting to see those exact mannerisms mirrored back to you from a person that isn't you and is not your family member. It's totally understandable if you have certain body mannerisms that are like your family. Like maybe you and your father move a certain way, and it's the same way. Maybe you have an expression you say, it's the exact same expression your dad or your mother used, or your grandfather or grandparent or uncle or aunt or whatever. It's but it's coming from somebody you've been intimate with, you're attracted to, and you would never in a million years expect to see that coming back to you from them, but then there it is. So it's a little like, what? Oh shit. Yeah. And the funny thing is like, I always forgot that we were twin flames. I was never continually running a narrative in my head, reminding myself, oh yeah, that woman's my twin flame. Oh my god, that's my twin flame. Oh yeah, I forgot. Every time I saw her, I was not doing that. That narrative was not running around in my head. I was just like, hell yeah, that's my woman. She's with me. Heck yeah, what are we gonna do today? What we got? What's gonna happen? What's happening? Like that's literally, that was the narrative I thought. It wasn't like continually me going, that's my twin flame. That's my twin flame. That's my twin flame. That's my twin flame. Everybody. No, it wasn't anything like that. So I would fucking forget. I still forget sometimes. I still forget. I'm still reminded of certain things that occurred between the two of us. And I'm reminded, like, fuck, I forgot. We're mirrors. We were mirroring each other. There were things that I did that inadvertently triggered her. There were things that she did that inadvertently triggered me. We didn't do it on purpose. We were just reflecting each other. So anyways, I'm getting off the topic. You see their soul. I'm going to tell you this story and why I say that. This is about my body and why I brought up the fact that I'm trans. So she's looking at me. She's observing me. We just had sex. We decided to go do something. I think it was probably go eat or do some activity. I don't know. So I'm getting dressed. I'm not looking at her. I'm getting dressed. I'm talking to her. We're having a conversation. Out of the blue, she says, hey. No, this is what happened. I look up. She's observing me. She's doing a thing that I do. So I was like, what the fuck? This is weird, but it was. And so I didn't know really anything to say other than, what? And she was like, what? And I was like, you're looking at me or something. What's going on? And she was like, nothing. I'm just watching you. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay, so I'm still getting dressed. She was like, hey, I want to take this time to tell you that I think you're absolutely beautiful. You're the most beautiful man I've ever seen in my life. And I think she realized at that point, by my reaction, which was super like minute, that I was like, huh? Like, I think I was taken aback that she used the word beautiful, because not many people describe men as being beautiful. Most people assume or associate the word beautiful with the more feminine side of whatever, the more feminine aspects of anything. That is usually when we refer to something as beautiful. It's something that's more on a feminine, softer level of existence. But I don't. If I remember correctly, she reminded me to look the word up, and I think when I did, it actually doesn't have anything to do with gender or something like that. Um, so she was like, "Yeah, I don't want you to think that I'm referring to you in that way. That is not the way I'm referring to you, because I know that probably bothers you. You don't identify as being feminine in any manner. So I just thought you might want to know that I find you very attractive, but I also find you very beautiful." And I was like, "Holy crap, this woman gets it. She gets me. She understands me. She understands the way I think and work. Like, this is crazy." So I was like, "Oh, wow, okay, thank you." Well, I'd never been in a healed relationship before. It was my first healthy relationship. So, of course, me not really knowing how to respond other than saying thank you, I decided to take the time to just flat out explain to her without caveating anything like, "Hey, we're not going to talk about body now." I just went, "Oh, and by the way, just in case you're ever wondering, this is my penis." But I didn't say, "This is my penis." I said, this is my, And her response was, "Oh, okay, right. Where are we going with this?" And so I explained to her, "Hey, I don't know how you see it. I don't know how other people see it, but I'm a dude and I have a penis. And if you're going to refer to any part of my body," and I believe I actually was putting on my pants. Sorry, Bella. I think I was actually putting on my pants as I was telling her this. And I literally was like, "This part of my body. You tell me about this part of my body." I mean, it was so it was so fucking ridiculously rude. And just like, yeah. Anywho, I was just like, "Hey, anytime you're referring to that part of my body, that's what you're gonna call it, because that's what I call it." And she was like, "Right, I get you." And I was like, "No, I didn't need you to." And she was like, "Ew." And then this when she explained to me, like, "You're explaining yourself to me, and I don't need you to do that, because I see you. I see you." And that's what I mean by seeing the soul. She saw past this crap. She didn't care what package I was in. Didn't matter to her what the package looked like. And I'm not talking about package. I'm talking about the physical body, the encompassed physical human body that I, as an energetic being, decided to come here and encompass. She saw through that bullshit. She had a lot of shitty relationships prior to me with dudes that were fucking shitheels. And when I say that, with the conviction that I say it, why do I say it with that conviction? Because 2 of those men put her ass in the hospital, and that was the only reason that she was able to escape those relationships. Was she a little damaged in her own level? Yeah, she had some trauma through life. And at the time she met those men, she probably was dishing out some crap. Not saying that I'm not, and when I say that, I don't mean that as, well, she deserved it. No. No one deserves that. Nobody. No woman ever deserves to get hit by a man because of whatever her opinion is or whatever it is. No, it doesn't even have to fucking be a reason. Men should not be hitting women. Period. That's just how I see the world. Sorry. That's just how I see the world. And I explained that to her. I'm not gonna hit you. I'm never gonna do any of that crap. Like, that's just stupid. She was like, "But I might hit you." I was like, "Okay, well, fine then. I guess you'll be beating me up because I'm not gonna hit you back." But those men put her in the hospital. She had a scar here under her chin right here. And I remember seeing it, like, I think it was like the second time we had sex. I saw it, and I didn't mention it. Well, I mean, I didn't see it while we were having sex. I noticed it afterwards. Like I said, I was checking out her body, and I happened to see it. So I asked her what that was. I was like, "Hey, what is that?" And she was like, "What?" And I go, "This right here." She just looked at me. She was like, "You don't need to worry. What did she say? She said, "You don't need to worry about that." And it wasn't only the way she said it to me, it was just the look on her face. And I never asked her about it. Never, ever, ever asked her. I was like, obviously, this is not something I need to be nosing around about. I found out later after she passed from her son. The last guy she dated that beat her ass up and put her in the hospital, her son witnessed. I think he was 3 or 4 at the time. He is the reason that she survived that abuse in that night, because her son, kept jumping on this guy. He wouldn't leave him alone. He kept seeing his mom getting thrown around and whatever the fuck was happening, and he just tried to beat the shit out of this guy that was beating the shit out of his mom. And in the process, he took a knife and stuck it right there. I was told through the spiritual work that I've done that part of the reason that her body expired is because of the abuse that she took by those men. And that irritates and angers the fuck out of me, because I got 6 months with her. And they had, probably years. I would hope not, but I don't know. She wouldn't talk about that shit with me. Anyways, this has nothing to do with what I'm trying to talk about. You see the soul. You see past this. You see them for who they really are. And you love them and care for them and honor them and respect them no matter what. That's the weird thing. It's not really weird. I think I would rather use the word unusual at this point, because how many people do you actually really know that are married or in actual loving relationships where they actually don't have one complaint about the person? Not one. I don't know anybody. I've never met a couple that doesn't have a thing, that there's this thing that the other person does. They're like, I really wish that person wouldn't do it. Or there's the thing that they have to fucking moan and complain about. I've never met a couple where they're literally like, nope, there's not a thing she does or he does, or they do that gets under my skin or on my nerves on occasion. There was never a time where I was around that woman and felt irritated by her or what was happening around her or what she was saying or doing. I can only say that she must have felt the same way since we were marrying each other. I don't know. We never talked really about being twin flames. We never really openly discussed, oh my God, we're twin flames. What the fuck? Blah, blah, blah. We never did that. We just talked about, okay, what are we going to do? Let's move. Where are we going to move to? Let's get a house. Let's do this. Let's do that. We just talked about the things we wanted to do together. She was getting, what is it called? She was getting licensed to be a spiritual counselor and help battered women like herself clean up their stuff and get a job and a place to live and resources. Like she told me, she was that, there was a lot of things, and she was a single mom too, and there were a lot of things that she wanted to help women specifically with, because she was like, I didn't know the things that I know now, and if I'd known the things that I knew back then when I was being abused and stuff, she said I would have gotten out of that cycle of abuse way sooner, because I would have had access and people that would have given me and shown me resources and things of that nature and ways to be healthy and have healthy habits and all this other things that, that we didn't freely talk about, or we didn't know where to go. Like we didn't have the access we have on the internet now. So she's like, now that that's available, I want to be able to be available to these women. Like my woman, I'm telling you, she was a fucking amazing woman. She was a badass. So irritating sometimes to me that she's not physically around to fulfill the thing that she was wanting to fulfill, which is to help people and help women make and contribute and have a better life for themselves and their families. She was only 42, y'all. Sucks. Anywho, this is not about me, this is about y'all. And if you are a true twin flame and you are with somebody that you're saying is your twin flame, then hopefully you just see their soul. Yeah, I would like to think, obviously, hopefully you're attracted to them on some level. If you're in a romantic twin flame journey, I would hope that you're attracted to the person you're being intimate with, and hoping that it would be mutual. I would think that. I also want to add this other little thing, like, she was not the typical person that I would have dated, honestly. And really, the only reason I say that is it's not anything about her physicality or her personality. It was her looks. And when I say that, I only mean that she was a brunette. I dated one chick once that lasted like a month who was a brunette. Every girlfriend I've ever had in my entire existence so far in this lifetime has been a blonde. I've always been attracted to blondes. I've always had a thing for blondes. Now I'm like, I don't care what color their hair is. I just want them to be attractive, please. Um, or I want to be attracted to them as well. Thank you. Yeah, like she was a brunette. It was weird. It was weird. I can't explain it. There were physical features. Yeah, like, no, not physical features, but she had a mole. She had a mole in a certain part of her body. I'm not going to say where, it's private. I mean, I'm not in a private part. I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to tell you where on her body. But she had a mole. I used to call it her birthmark. Now, I don't know how most people are, but I'm not usually attracted to people that have moles somewhere on their body. I'm usually like, oh, you have a mole. Okay, cool, fun for you. Yeah, you look pretty nice over there. Next, like I'm usually just like pass, but I didn't give a fuck. I didn't care. I was just like, this is so odd. You have a mole. That doesn't bother me. That's unusual. Normally it would. And you have brunette hair. Normally I don't ever find a brunette attractive. I don't care how hot people think they are. I'm always like, yeah, they're okay. But no, I thought my one was hot. So it's just weird. You see their soul. You're very much attracted to them, and it's really all nice and everything. But you're really what you're really attracted to is their soul. I don't know any other way to put it or explain it without taking up the rest of your entire day and telling you all about a relationship, which is really you don't need to know about it. It's not that important. Well, no, it is important to me, but it's not important to you. It's you living your life, and that's what we're here to help you do as a twin flame is figure out if you are one. So if you are seeing them and seeing their soul, and you're like, what is it about you I found attractive? I mean, if you find it that you're really attracted to them as a person, not just their physicality, then that's seeing their soul. And that's another cue or another soy boop, that they're your twin flame. Cool. So I hope this helped you out a little bit. I'm gonna go and do some stuff. I think I'm gonna eat. I'm hungry again. I need to eat. So I'm gonna go do that. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Alright? Later.